Barcelona once again scrape Real Madrid this season. That is now 4 Clasico wins in one season for Barcelona, and I think that's actually the first time a team has actually ever done that. And it was just domination after going 2-0 down. Yes, it's another game that Barca starts, concedes 2 goals in the first half, and then decides to wake up. But this time, they actually got the job done. They couldn't complete the job against Inter, unfortunately, but this time, once again, they get the job done. They complete the comeback, and I think there's talking points on Barca's players. There's talking points about Real Madrid, and there's definitely talking points about the referee. So let's just get right into it with the game. So 4-3 the final score, and it starts with 2 Mbappe goals. Now, of course, we'll talk about the referee decisions on each goal or just each play in general a bit after. But it started off 2-0 for Real Madrid, and Barca at the start looked fatigued. They just looked like the toll of what happened in Milan has been taken on them. But they conceded the 2 goals, and then they just instantly woke up. Once the second goal went in from Mbappe, it was all Barcelona. You take a look at this field tilt. It was Madrid who scored the early penalty. Barca attacked a little bit. Madrid scored another goal, and from that moment, it was all Barcelona. It was attack and pressure and intensity from Barcelona to the highest order. Madrid simply could not handle it, especially in that first half, at the end of that first half, and the better team won. The more technical players won. The better players on the pitch won, and there's no two ways about it. Barcelona this season, when it comes to attacking football, when it comes to actually generating chances and scoring goals, the proof is in the pudding. They are the best at it by far. People consider PSG there as well, but I think we have to consider the quality of Ligue 1 when talking about PSG's goal scoring numbers. But in general, Barcelona, without a doubt, the best attacking team on earth this season. The issues for Barcelona defensively, I mean, they have been getting more and more obvious as a couple of past games have been, played. And that is definitely something that has to be rectified, because it's just not going to be sustainable to have comebacks in every game, to concede 2, 3, 4 goals in every game and still rely on scoring more. You can score more, but now it will not be sustainable in every game. But nonetheless, Barca wake up in the first half. It's a great start to the actual intensity from Barcelona. There was 2 long shots firstly from Yamal, which was an unbelievable save from Courtois. And if anything, Courtois saves Madrid from a 10-0 defeat, as well as referee. We'll talk about that after, like I said. And then, of course, it was another shot from Gerard Martin, which was another insane save from Courtois. Now that, right from that moment, Barca get that corner, and that is when everything switches up, because it's an Eric Garcia goal. It's a near post corner from Olmo, flicked on by Torres, who had 3 assists today from Ferran Torres, and it was well finished from Garcia, who had another great game, Garcia, and he has proven to be a very, very, very good, very reliable utility player. He is actually a better Joker card than Sergio Roberto, and Garcia has been playing out of his mind. That's 2 goals from him now this season, and actually this week, that have sparked comebacks. So he's been doing very well, and then also chipping in the goal department. And then, of course, it was a Yamal goal, some good build-up from Pedri especially. He did very well in that situation. Ferran lays it off, and it's just an unbelievable finish from Yamal. Yamal with an unreal performance. You can see it here in his rating, of course, but that finish from Yamal, it had to be perfect, because Courtois is just ridiculous when it comes to saving shots in general, and it had to be a perfect finish from Yamal to get that goal, to get that equalizer, and it was. So 2-2, and then from that moment, I mean, it was just still Barcelona. 2 minutes later, Pedri wins the ball in the midfield. It's ridiculously intense pressure, and he finds Rafinha, who's through on goal, and it's 3-2. Rafinha with another driven crossbody finish. We know he likes that this season. 3-2. Barca come back in the first half, and it was just still Barcelona after that. We see it here. Even after the 3rd goal over here, we still see Barcelona even more attacking. And as the half went on, of course, there was the Rafinha goal for the 4th goal, which was, that was a pressure on Lucas Vasquez, which was very poor from him. And Of course, 4-2, Rafinha and Ferran Torres combining. You have Ferran Torres with his other assist there, and it's Barca double their lead. But if we talk about Ferran and Yamal today, Ferran did very well as an actual number 9 in terms of presence. Yes, he got the 3 assists, but his presence there, he occupied the center backs well. He pressed very well. And to see him actually getting into form this season, yes, he's been in form, but to see him actually be able to start big games now and have an impact, it's nice to see because he was purchased for upwards of 50 million. That this was not a cheap signing from Barcelona, and it's finally about time we see him chip in with the goals. So Ferran and just the performances. Ferran with a good performance. Yamal, who was unbelievable. He only had the 1 goal, should have had 1 or 2 assists, but other than that, he had 3 key passes, 3 big chances created, 4 dribbles completed, 6 ground duels won, and 5 shots on target. He was just everywhere today, and we see it in the heat map. Yes, he is since he's young, he's still a very wide player, but we see him more and more now drifting into the middle positions, and that's probably what his role is going to be in the future when he is older. Similarly to Messi, when he became more mature, became more of a goal scoring threat, and yeah, Yamal with a great performance. And then we go into halftime, and Madrid switched up some players. They put in Modric, they put in Brahim Diaz for Arda Güler, and they found their way into the game a little bit, but they couldn't really do much. Of course, the 3rd goal came from a Barca mistake for Mbappe, who capitalized on the space. And also, of course, that was a goal that brought it back to a 1-goal game. But after that, and just in general in the second half, it was still mostly Barcelona, as we see here. It was Barcelona. They did it. If they played this with the same intensity that they did in the first half, this game could have ended with at least 7 or 8 goals for Barcelona. But that wasn't the case in the second half, and that's mostly Barca's fault, but that also partially came down to the referees, unfortunately. It's a shame that we have to talk about the referees so consistently in this league, especially in between Clásicos, but that's just how they are. So overall, great performance by the team. Madrid couldn't do much. It was really just Mbappe there who was trying to carry them. Vinny did whatever he could in terms of the assists, but he was still very poor. Bellingham, invisible. Ceballos, Vasquez, diabolical. It was just really bad for Madrid, and even Valverde just didn't have a good performance. So yeah, domination from Barcelona. We see in the stats here. I mean, over 4 xG and 7 big chances from Barcelona. Plus, they dominated the possession and the territorial advantage of the pitch they had. But if we go on now to the referees, you have games where there's a few, 1, 2, maybe 3 bad decisions that are directly, involved in penalties or directly involved in direct goal scoring opportunities. But this was ridiculous. I mean, from the first goal that we saw, it was ridiculous from the referees. We start off with the first Mbappe penalty. Kubarsi touching this doesn't matter. The pass from whoever it was, I can't see it in this picture, I forgot who made that pass, was meant for Mbappe. And when that pass was passed, Mbappe was offside. So I don't know what rule they applied here to make it seem that Kubarsi's touch nullifies this offside, but that should be offside. I don't know how this was even allowed. But penalty for Real Madrid, they didn't call the offside, and it's 1-0. Then that's 1-0 for Real Madrid. Then we go on 10 minutes later, and Mbappe makes it 2-0. But before, in the build-up to win this ball for the attack from Madrid, Valverde obviously fouls Yamal. Now, in actually watching the play, it doesn't look too bad. It looks more of a body-to-body. But obviously, as we can see in this picture, now it's just a picture, of course, not a video because you can't show it because of copyright. But the point is that obviously Valverde is clearly stepping on Yamal's foot. That should have been called back, or at the very least, truly actually reviewed. And it wasn't. Then we take a look at an obvious pull on Rafinha from Vasquez, and this was super obvious. You have pulls back from defenders that shouldn't be called really because they're soft. This was a clear and obvious pull back from Vasquez and Rafinha. Wasn't even reviewed. This wasn't even reviewed at all. And of course, there was this play on Tchouaméni where Ferran Torres was through on goal. It's a one-on-one scenario if Tchouaméni doesn't foul him, and he only gets a yellow card. Now, I agree, this was a bit more 50-50. This could be a yellow, could be a red. But the point is that when it is 50-50, it will never fall in Barca's favor with these referees because we know who controls them. We know that the threats, if they don't actually how do I say this, half fairly, if they don't actually keep a team in the game, keep a team in the competition. And that's what they want to do today because with the loss now, Madrid's basically out of La Liga. It's completely basically over, and the referees just did what they could to keep them in it. So this was a possible red card for Tchouaméni, and just in general with other fouls, could have been a red card or two yellows. Tchouaméni handball. This should have been a penalty. I mean, this is an obvious handball. They didn't call it. Then they call a handball on Ferran after a rebound, and they nullify Fermin's goal. It just doesn't make sense to me. The refereeing in this league, especially when it comes to these two teams specifically, and how the referees treat one team compared to the other. I don't want to. I hate talking about things like this, like referees or whatever, when it comes to Barca videos, because everything should be Barca's fault. The goals they concede should be their fault. The goals they score should be their fault. But this is just ridiculous from the referees. They have to be talked about. And there was another play here that wasn't added in this frame that people forgot about. When Rafinha in the first half had a header that went over the bar from a pass from Yamal, Tchouaméni's kicking Rafinha's leg in that play. For some reason, Tchouaméni is going for a tackle when the ball's high in the air. Tchouaméni is going for Rafinha because the ball's obviously high up in the air for a header. And Tchouaméni is obviously kicking Rafinha that wasn't called or even checked at all. And the point is that, why is it like this? Why is it like this? I don't understand why it has to be like this. Why can't we just watch a game? The referees, for 95 to 99%, have a great performance, just call things how they are, and the games will be even more fun to watch. The scorelines will be even more, reflective of the game. If the referee didn't step in today, and the scoreline probably would have been, let's just say 6-1 to Barca, that would have been a way more reflective scoreline based on what actually happened than what 4-3 is. But it is what it is. End of the day, Barca wins, and La Liga is basically all but confirmed for this team. Overall, great performance to actually come back from what happened at Milan and to come back from a 2-0 deficit in this game. The mentality is obviously there. And yeah, let me know what you guys think. And I guess see you for the next video. There's no more UCL to talk about, unfortunately, as they're not in the final, but there's a few more La Liga games left, and there's a possibility that Barca win it away at Espanyol again, like they did in 2023. But yeah, like I said, see you in the next video.